What if 1 billion people across the world practiced emotional intelligence, or even just in Europe? Whether you are in Sweden, Spain, or Slovenia, or somewhere in Europe, come and join us for another 6 questions about 6 seconds in Sweden. And today, my guest to talk about 6 questions for 6 seconds in Sweden is Kim Lindberg. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you, David.
I would love for you to start us off by just sharing a little bit with our audience. Who are you and what are you doing in Sweden as a coach?
I am Kim, and I have my own company together with my husband. We are working with growing EQ amongst leaders with the help of AI and technology.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing. So we'll get more into the AI part a little bit more. So I've got these 6 questions, as you know, and the first one I'd like to ask is, how is EQ as a concept seen in Sweden?
Yeah, David, I have done some research but I couldn't actually come up with so much. So I have to depend on my own experience also, if that is okay. But in the workplace, I would say it has increased since the job ads and also in interviews and so on, they emphasize on your social skills and the ability to collaborate effectively with others. So if you fit in the team and so on. And I would say also that it's reflected in the recruitment processes, where qualities and skills like emotional intelligence are often valued alongside the technical skills. So that is on the rise, so to say.
Yeah.
And also personal development and education and finding yourself is also increasing. You can see it on the numbers of trainings and also coaches who work with it. And also the cultural aspects, I would say. We are a very diverse country with a lot of different people and cultures. But there are a lot of challenges and debates about the cultural aspect, since we are quite diverse also in our cultural view or the way of living.
See, which may change the knowledge or the use of EQ as a strategic or personal tool in that way.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
So I would say it starts to increase in Sweden and are quite established, but not at the level I would like it to be.
Okay. Then that leads me nicely to the second question, like maybe twisting this a little bit. What opportunities do you see for Sweden and being able to bring EQ? So you mentioned before working with leaders and groups in corporations and things that are wanting your services. What further opportunities do you think there could be?
In my world, my reality, I had the opportunity to actually use and educate in EQ in my consultant assignments.
Okay.
And also I would argue that since I live and breathe and are passionate about EQ, I am also a person who has a high EQ, which actually brings ripple effects, I would say.
Okay.
But it's still a little controversial with the word as emotional intelligence in Swedish. It's kind of fluffy.
Okay.
And I'm commonly in technology business, and but it has actually went well on the customers who actually wanted to try it out.
Yeah, fair enough. Wow. Cool. So there's work to be done. The third question is, what skills or competencies of EQ are most needed in your country? So you also mentioned you're an AI consultant. So I'm sure AI is also needed as a skill. How do we use it? What is it about? It's not just about, can I use ChatGPT, but thinking about, I guess, the technical aspects of AI, but pairing that you're obviously doing with the technical aspects of EQ. This lovely combination of EQ and AI, or EI and AI, as we sometimes say.
Oh, sorry, David.
Yeah, go for it. What are your thoughts there? I said.
My thoughts are that we must embrace the paradigm of AI now. It's not like a choice.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people who are afraid of it. And that is also some kind of like stress management and resilience, if you tie it to EQ, that we need to increase and teach and train people in. Because we shouldn't be afraid of AI. We should embrace each other and see how we can actually use each other's skills. Because what we humans still, I have to say still, have as an advantage, it is our emotional intelligence, which no large language model or AI can replace now. So stress management and resilience, self-awareness also, since I am mainly targeted to my to a group of leaders. Leaders are culture carriers, and if they increase and grow their emotional intelligence and also increase their self-awareness, it's also easier to lead other people. And I see the ripple effects there also.
Yeah, fair enough. Wow. So that really nicely bringing things together. Let me ask you then, in your understanding of EQ, what's your favorite way that you've learned, and maybe something that you practice personally, perhaps even on a daily basis, that helps you with your own EQ?
Since I mentioned before, I breathe and are passionate about EQ, since I know the positive effects of it. And I would say, like, maybe it sounds like a cliche, but then I am a cliche. I would say in everyday life, actually, when I meet people, new or old acquaintances, in all settings, in all environments, how will I reach that person? What does that person feel now? If I say like this or this, how should I communicate, for example? And I would say it's not only competence, EQ, because you feel a shift when you are at the level where it's a mindset for you. It's a culture shift, kind of. So I can't actually say I perform it then, I use it then, but as I said, to go back to my start there, it's in the daily life. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. The mindset. That's really nice. So it's I guess it's filtering and changing many aspects of your life then. By changing the mindset, you're changing the different aspects. So really, no, that's great. So for those watching, I mean, there's something that they can learn from you, of course, if they're interacting with you in Sweden or in other ways. So recognizing, what do we need to shift? I think that's probably the case for many people at 6 Seconds, where they've developed over time. We always say it's a journey of EQ. And so the journey starts with awareness, then intention, and tying that into purpose in what we're doing. So great. Great. So I'd like you to share now. Question 5 is, what has been your journey so far with 6 Seconds? So maybe you remember the certifications that you've taken over the years, but also maybe where you apply those. So if you've got a particular assessment, maybe you're using it with a particular target audience that people could learn from as well.
My certifications is unlocking EQ, as all of it's a mandatory training. EQ practitioner and assessor.
Yes.
Brain profiler and facilitation integration. Fantastic. And I have also been a network leader, but unfortunately I have had struggled with a long post-COVID illness.
Right.
And just actually I'm on my best of the worst now.
Oh, you're over that part now, right?
Yes, exactly. So, but I have used the assessments in some at some of my customers. Yes. And also a workshop to or a education, you can say.
Yes.
That is tied to the assessment.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Great. So on projects or in workshops, or applying the tool as part of an everyday or
exactly.
Through a day work.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, really nice. Thank you. The last question to ask you, Kim, is what would the world be like if 1 billion people practiced EQ, do you think?
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's of course utopia, but it's not like a goal that you can't reach.
Yeah,
we will reach it, of course.
We will. Yeah.
David? Yeah. But I think as we see in the world today, we need to be stronger in conflict resolution and understand other people. That we have to agree to disagree. It's totally okay. We don't have to think or have the same illusions or goals or whatever. And also, if we see now the election in US, for example, or the social and political impact those leaders have, if they could show a little more emotional intelligence towards each other, they are role models for the young people. And when they are throwing dirt on each other, that is the way we are going to do. We are going to follow you. I'm going to elect my vote will go to you. And you think it's okay to throw dirt on each other. And that is not only in the US, it's also in Sweden, for example. Okay. So just that the role models are emotional, intelligent, I would say that is really, really important.
Yeah, comes back to that mindset that you mentioned before. So if these leaders, world leaders, could have a much broader mindset towards emotional intelligence and kindness towards each other.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Thank you, Kim. That's a really good point to share to sort of end our questions. And I would like to now ask you just to share some words in Swedish for those who are watching, perhaps who could hear you in your native language and be able to learn a little bit more as well.
Ja, hej alla EQ-älskare och tack för att ni har velat lyssna på denna intervjun. Vill ni veta mer och är nyfikna på att kanske göra någonting tillsammans eller vad vet vi ska förändra världen i alla fall. Så hör av er. Jag finns på LinkedIn, Kim Lindberg. Hoppas vi hörs och ses. Tack.
Beautiful. I love that. It's my favorite part of every interview I do, Kim. So thank you so much for your time and sharing your thoughts today about EQ in Sweden. And we'll see you again.
Yeah, we do. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching this episode of 6 Questions for 6 Seconds In. And where will we be next time?